Our third debate theme, which is The Hague as an international city. The Hague is the second UN city in the world, and it's called the legal capital of the world. And it's also known as the International City of Peace and Justice. And many foreigners who live in this city work for an international organization. And obviously they're important for the economy, not just regionally, but also countrywide. So one part of the government wants to have more and more expats coming to The Hague, but other parts are still working on immigration rules that will make a move to the Netherlands not so streamlined, not so easy. And also, what about the image of the Netherlands as a tolerant and a hospitable society to foreigner when racism and intolerance to foreigners is on the rise?
Well, let me start by saying that we are not interested in where you're coming from. We are interested in where we are heading for. And that's without the color of your skin, and that is without being male or female or your sexual interests. The Hague was the first city in the Netherlands to start the hospitality center with an expat desk. And so since then we have every 6 weeks a Welcome to The Hague program where we invite people who have just entered The Hague to show them around, to give them information about how things are done when it comes to healthcare, for instance, but also when it comes to education. And we like to say that often we welcome a stranger, but we want to make sure that by the time when people are leaving that we send home a friend. And that's the attitude that The Hague needs. And we are working on that, and every time we can do better, we will do so.
If anything happens here in this city with people who feel that they're being discriminated on whatever grounds, they will find our party at their side, because that's one thing that we are really against.
But I think if you talk about how we deal with foreigners and with people who are born abroad, it's also very important to focus a little bit more maybe on people who are living, who are coming from maybe the non-Western countries, people who are coming from Turkey or Morocco. And I think it's also very important we talk about that it's important that people have a place where we can meet, that things are organized like Mondial City Tour every year, and that it's very important to keep on continuing with those, we call it burgerschap acts in the city, to make sure that people have a possibility to meet each other, to discuss, to mingle a little bit more so that they get more understanding of each other and learn more about each other's background. I think it was my neighbor Marjolein who had the suggestion to open up the embassies on one day a year, and I think things like that help people to be curious about other cultures, where people are coming from, and to realize that they are living in an international city and that they have something to learn from that also.
I've heard that a lot of expats, they are afraid of the forthcoming elections. For example, when Wilders will have a big victory. So a lot of expats that I speak to, they say, I will leave this country when this will happen. What do you think of this?
Well,
sorry, is this a...
Well, I hope that this will stimulate everyone, but especially the expats, to go and vote. And don't vote for a party which says that it's the party for freedom, while this freedom is not for everybody. It's like in Animal Farm. All pigs are equal, but some pigs are more equal than others. So please go and vote, and please don't vote for them.
I love your analogies, Frits.
Mijn vraag is, wat doet CDA achterom van ja, maar Schouten, wij volgt allemaal. Wat doet met PVV?
The question was, what is the CDA doing with the PVV? I will tell you, in front, we never excluded Democratic Party. That's also for the PVV, but there are so many differences between these two parties that I think it's on the front. I think it's very hard to come to agree with this party, and I really, it's a pity they're not here. I really would love to debate with him.
In my neighbourhood, they've introduced the paid parking, and it just seems to have been bumped from the centrum out and out and out and out. So what is the panel's view on paid parking in the suburbs? And is there any long-term plan for the money raised by that to be invested in public transport?
it's a very good point that you're making. We think that the money that that the municipality gets out of the paid parking should be invested in parking places, in solving the traffic jam, and that it should not be just there to spend with anything. That's a very good point. We've got it in our program. Okay.
And secondly, does the council have any plans to deal with the messy problem of dog shit?
We need a more clean city. And so we think that besides safety, getting the city more clean is one of the important subjects of these elections. And when you look at our program, we have reserved millions for it to make it a more clean city.
There was talk about the new tunnel between Madurodam and Kijkduin. I'm shocked, to be honest, to hear such plans. That must be enormous amount of money to be invested in such solutions for more cars in the city, while there's no alternative for really public transport. And one last kind of personal comment. I would think that the city of The Hague, so close to the sea, would be really concerned about the climate change, but honestly I don't have that impression.
What we have been trying to promote is D66, which has not landed yet, but you never know what's in the future. For example, why not have a return ticket by public transport to the city center for €1? And the money for the tunnel, no, we don't have the money for the tunnel. And yes, we support the tunnel. You first have to start supporting it before you can try to find the money. That's step one. And it's not to get more cars into the city, but those cars that go from one side to the other side of the city, try to make them go away as far as possible so you get them out of sight and out of pollution.
I want to respond as well. I agree with you, there should be more focus on environment. Well, I'm the Green Party after all, so that's no surprise maybe, but we have invested more in the last 4 years on sustainable energy, on windmills, creating an energy company which can also produce sustainable energy. And we want to do more as a Green Party. So if you want to vote for sustainable energy, for having a Green Deal, for creating green jobs, for insulating homes and that kind of thing, to help stop the climate change, well then Green Party is your party.
There you go.
Well,
and on that, do we have time for one more question, Andrew?
Yeah, the last one.
The very last question of the evening. Make it a good one, sir. No pressure.
No pressure.
I would like to know from the panel what their view is on the relocation of coffee shops from residential areas. Me and my family are tortured day and night, well, let's say 15 hours a day anyway, by visitors to the local coffee shop. The cars drive up, we have the pimpmobiles with the double exhausts, shaking the windows, we have the boom, 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 boom music constantly. We have the coffee shop staff who are not in the slightest bit interested. We have the punters sitting in the cars, smoking for 10, 15 minutes. Again, I want to know what the panel will do about it.
That was a good question, actually. You didn't let me down. Well done. Anybody cares to respond to that?
Well, the CDA is quite strict on coffee shops. Whether we had them, not at all, but it's a fact, it's a reality, we have to deal with them. But if now we have them, we have to concentrate them as far in the center, and we have not to move them to cities where people with children live, like Zeehelderkwartier, like Ypenburg, like other places. We are quite strict, and that was one of the campaign focuses of the CDA this year.
There are the amount of coffee shops in the city has been cut down a lot in the last few years. It went from about 100 to I think about 40 coffee shops now. And at the moment these coffee shops are located not very well spread over the city on the street.
So you're going to replace them?
We are moving some coffee shops
towards
to other neighborhoods in the city where
there
are
are
good
no
locations.
coffee shops yet.
Yes, where there's no coffee shops yet, because we think coffee shops are part of Dutch cities, because coffee shops can be well functioning in a neighborhood, just like other cafes or stores or other things that attract people, lots of people and business in the city. Yeah, we think that coffee shops are part. We think coffee shops are part of a Dutch city, and that we have 40 coffee shops now, and that's a good amount that we can keep in the city.
We think the VVD thinks that coffee shops that cause problems should not be replaced. They should be closed.
Thank you very much for being here. Thank you, City of The Hague. Thank you, politicians, and have a good election.